Hi guys! So today I'm going to be answering one of my questions from a lovely viewer, and that is, how do you print on the inside of a greetings card? Well, let's find out. Now, before I get into the content for this video, I want to ask a huge favour. If you enjoy watching my content, can you please hit the subscribe button? Looking at my stats, there's only about 5% of you that are actually subscribers, and the rest of you wonderful viewers just seem to keep coming back but haven't actually subscribed. This year I'm really trying to grow my YouTube channel, and having your support is going to mean the world to me. So hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification to be the first to know when I upload a video, and comment down below. Do you enjoy my content? Do you have any ideas for content? Let's get into the video. There's something really special about being able to print on the inside of a greeting card, whether or not that's adding a personalised message or even a quirky design. But if you're new to printing, then you might be wondering, how on earth do I do it? Well, that's going to largely depend on the exact size that you're printing on. Most of my cards, if you've watched any of my videos, are printed at this size. When folded, it's 5x7. If I was to print on this, it would mean that I'd be able to create a gift message inside quite easily, or a personalised text, but I wouldn't really be able to do an edge-to-edge design that borders around the edges. When I first started, I used to print all of my designs on an A4, and if you can just see there, there's some trim lines. If you're using this design, then you will 100% be able to print a design that covers the entire inside. That would be border to border. So I'm going to show you how to do both for both folded and A4. Let's get into it.
Starting with an A4 document, I paste in the template that I have already made for printing my 5x7 cards. To that, I'm going to add a rectangle that also measures 5x7, and this is just going to allow me to make sure that everything is spaced exactly as it should be and help me figure out where to place things when printing. So you can see I'm starting at the top. This is actually an error, and I figure it out towards the end of the video that it needs to go at the bottom. So the next thing to do is to either paste in or write out the gift message that you would like to add to the inside of the card, and then have a play around with fonts and layout to just get it exactly as you would like it, to obviously match your styling and branding. And I'm using that rectangle that you saw me make earlier to line it up just to see exactly where it will place. Now I'm bringing in a background, and I'm having a little play here just to see, you can just about see it's covering over the template, so I know that when it prints, that's exactly, it's going to get full coverage. Afterwards, I've added on a little rectangle to help offset the text, and I'm making another rectangle here just to allow me to make sure that everything is measured up. That you can obviously do it with rulers and guides, but I find it easier and quicker by just using boxes sized to exactly as I need. So this is when I've twigged that it needs to go at the bottom to print out correctly. So you can see me moving it down, and then I'm going to need to orientate the text as well. There it is. So I delete all of the boxes that I don't need, and also the template. You do not want the template printing on the inside. And finally we head over to print, and that should be it done.
Apologies for the lighting. This is now several hours later. Unfortunately, mummy duty's called, so I had to take a bit of a break, but I'm going to push through so I can get this video out. When you've printed the card on the A4, it comes out of the machine like this. The next step means that I have to do something that I'm not a fan of, and I'm definitely not very good at, and that is lateral thinking. You need to figure out, based on your printer settings, how it is going to print out on the other side of the card, so that when the card is folded, everything lines up. So I think I have done it. Usually what happens is I will use some paper, and then once I have figured out, just with this cheaper paper, copy paper, it doesn't really matter what, it doesn't have to be in full colour, just draft, I will then save the pieces that I've been working on, the documents in Affinity, as templates. That means that I know when I print everything should line up. I said that so confidently that let's see whether or not that's actually going to be the case now. Wish me luck. Okay, time for the big reveal. I'm not going to lie, I'm nervous. So here's the front, and obviously it'll be folded that way, and it looks like we've had success. So let's get this trimmed down and scored so we can check. In case you didn't see it whilst I was on the computer, I don't have the guide on this side. Instead, it's here. Now this one here, this marking, was actually from an older design from when I never used to have the creasing board, and I used to have to do it with a ruler, and it was a bit of a nightmare. So that's just basically a holdover, but it's something that you can do, marking a halfway point along the card so that you can score with a boning tool. They're a couple of pound off of Amazon or eBay, and then just crease down. Obviously, I'm going to show you how I do it, which is with a ruler and sharp scalpel. I do have a trimming board. Okay, so now we have this out, I'm just going to grab the crease board. I have my marked up especially to fit my card sizes, which is obviously 5x7. And then just go with this little star here. It's best to go slowly but firmly at first. And then I try to line the corners up as best I can. Okay. Not my best attempt, but as I said, being cat-handed and having to hide behind the camera is not doing me any favours. As you can see, you've got the design there, and then inside you've got this lovely printed effect. I wouldn't usually put this background here, I just wanted to mock something up very quickly for you to be able to see.
I couldn't help myself. The next day I ended up reprinting and remaking because it was bugging me so much. Even though it was just one to show you, I wanted to show you exactly how it should look and not how it had been messed up.
Yep, changing lighting again. It's now a new day. This video is taking much longer to film than I'd anticipated, so let's carry on. I'm quite happy with how this turned out. As I mentioned before, I probably wouldn't have gone for this design here. It doesn't really go with the front of this. However, I don't have one set up for this Happy Father's Day one. So as you can see, we have got full edge to edge printing there, and then we've got the message itself just in the middle nicely. Sometimes it's nice to have a coloured or a white backing just so the text itself stands out a bit more. Obviously you can create something that matches your brand, but I thought this one was quite cute. So now we're going to move on to using card blanks. This process is slightly different, so let's go through it.
This time I'm starting with a document that is 7 inches wide and 10 inches tall. This means when it's printed out, obviously, it's going to fold down to 5x7. So similarly as before, I'm adding the text for the gift message that's due to go inside. This time, however, you can see that little star there. That's going to play a part in the design as well. So I've resized everything and I'm using, again, a rectangle. You can't really see it on screen, but you can see it in the layers, duplicating the stars that I want adding. And then I'm going to match everything up to that rectangle and then align it to the bottom of the page, and once that's all done, convert to curves to get crisp printing and then send it off to print.
In theory, I should have figured out with some lateral thinking exactly how to put both the card blank in and how to set up the document so that it prints out correctly. So here's my card blank. I'm going to put it in, obviously with blank side up, but with this bit at the bottom. So fingers crossed this is going to work. Let's see. It's finished printing, fingers crossed. Yay! Okay, so we've obviously got the back and front there, and then on the inside we have our print. So I'm going to fold it and then I can show you exactly the differences between the two. You're probably wondering why go to all of the effort of the trimming it down for the full page inside when obviously they look exactly the same print quality once they're done, so surely it would be quicker to just use a blank and then just do a full size print. The reason that that is done is down to the printer. Basically, most printers that you can buy commercial for at home will only allow you to print borderless for sizes A4 and above. So obviously this is smaller than A4. Now the reason for that is because of when a printer does print borderless, it will overspray the edges just to ensure that everything is covered. So if you've got a small media like this or even smaller, then obviously all of that overspray is going to get stuck within the machine. It's going to end up on areas that touch your card, so you're going to end up with smudging everywhere. And really you don't want dried ink building up internally in your machine on the main printer area. So that means that we have to find the workaround. And the workaround for me, as I showed you, is having a template on Affinity, which is a design software that I use, and then adapting it to print first and trim down later. I'm not going to lie, I much prefer going down the blanks route because I can stick something wonderful on YouTube, have a nice cup of tea, and cuts maybe 10, 20 pre-crease so that when an order comes in, I just need to grab one of my pre-made blanks and then just get it filled out. Having to do it the other way around so that everything is cover to cover or borderless printing, it just adds so much time. In my personal experience, customers obviously don't understand this, so you have to price it accordingly, and a customer isn't going to understand why it's going to cost them so much more to have your design edge to edge. So yes, it's definitely a nice thing to have, but in my personal opinion it's not needed, especially as it doesn't have to just be text in there. As long as you keep it from probably a centimetre or so around the edges, then you can do graphics. You could even do a whole pattern with just the rounded edges, so it doesn't look like it's just a cut off, it looks intentional, and then you could have that all filled with colour. It's completely up to you, obviously something that matches your branding, but I just wanted to show you, because it is a question I've had, the two differences. I'm here or here, just so that you can see how to lay out your design for both the outer cover and back cover on the A4, and then how to lay out your design for the inside cover. I'll also remind you perhaps on the middle of the PDF, the image, sorry, exactly how to flip the card when it's actually ready for printing. I am thinking about offering up a membership for this channel. So something that I would be able to do is provide actual design templates that you can open up in your own design software. So things like Canva, Affinity, which is obviously what I recommend, and possibly even an AI format which you can use with Adobe, but I'm not sure on that. If that's something that you would be interested in, so you pay a monthly subscription to be a supporter of my channel, but then you will have access to additional items like that, drop a comment down below, because it's definitely something I'm thinking of, and I'd like to know if there's any interest before I go ahead. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, hit the like button, share it, comment. I always read and respond to my comments. It brings me so much joy connecting with members of my community, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye!